shared a two-room flat back in Chelsea. Now she wasn't what you would call a blushing flower. As a matter of fact, she rented by the hour. The day she died, the neighbors came to snicker. Well, that's what comes from too much pills and liquor. But you know, when I saw her laid out like a queen, she was the happiest corpse I'd ever seen. I think of Elsie to this very day. I remember how she would lean and say, she'd say, Christopher, what good is sitting all alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Like this cabaret will charm. So come to the cabaret. And as for me, I made my mind up back in Chelsea. When I go, I'm gonna go like Elsie. I'm exhausted. I never learned It isn't that long a stay. Like there's a cabaret old chum. It's only a cabaret old chum. And I love the Catered Cabaret. Now we know why I don't do this anymore for a living. I just produce and direct. Oh, I'll tell you, it's been quite a journey. Getting here has been a lot. Literally a week ago, and I'm sorry, my voice is shot. I'm going on 12 hours sleep in the last 44 days, so I'm a little tired. Unfortunately, my mom cannot be here today, and that hurts my heart because she is in the hospital. She's not well. So please say a prayer for her as we do this evening. But my family's here, and I'm very grateful for that. Getting here, I have to acknowledge so many people that have done so much, and it's been a week ago Thursday, we literally had drywall up. And that's on. So a week ago, like 9 days ago, we had drywall that wasn't even finished. So the crew that has done this has been absolutely amazing. And I first want to acknowledge, before we go on with some of our presentations, is Robert Reinhardt Jr., and he's our general contractor. Please stand up. He's our GC. Worked his tail off day and night, and his crew, and Clay, his stepson. So Clay, please stand up. I mean, he's our electrician. His son it's like the whole family just jumped in on this whole thing. His son did all of our floors. They had just worked day and night. One night, like till 3 in the morning, I mean, to try to get this to this point. We're not finished yet, which I'm sure you can tell because we don't have fire doors yet. That's why we have a fireman sitting out there, by the way. Hey, how are you doing it? I'm paying him too. Anyway, to get us to this point, so you get the idea though. So we've got some more tweaks to be doing, and some more final touches to be doing, but I gotta be honest with you, I gotta ask the question, what do you think? You know, it's really funny because they don't have this up there. So when we were looking for a space, and I'll talk more about Bob and Dorothy in a bit too, but when we were looking for a space for this, at first we talked about like 135, and I was like, no, we really need to be near 65 so you can actually get from, because we have a lot of people that come from Columbus and from Indianapolis and from Plainfield and from, believe it or not, Carmel and Fishers and things like that. And I said, we need to be near 65. And so that was the first criteria, was to be on this side of town. There's not a lot on this side of town. And then the other criteria was we had to be next to a dollar store. Do you know how hard that is to find a big space next to a dollar store? Anyway, so of course, so we would find the space. The first words out of Dorothy's mouth were, "It's next to a dollar store." My mom goes, "It's next to a dollar store." And I'm like, I used to shop at Dillard's. Now I shop at the dollar store. For those of, how many people were here with us last season? Okay, good, so a lot of you. So most of you know at that point in time I was about $250,000 in debt, and in the course of 6 months I'm now $700,000. Yes, I'm feeling good about my retirement plan. Anyway, so all that shirt. I want to take you down. It's rainy out today, and it's the first time I've ever done a grand opening. And I've done multiple grand openings for major hotels and major resorts and condominiums and blah blah blah. But it's never rained. It's never. I've never had an event rain, and today it rains. And it's also interesting because we're actually opening our show. We got pushed back. We had a lot of challenges getting this place open. So our first show's on Halloween. So it's raining on our opening on this special day, and it's also open on Halloween. So I think it's a little scary. What about you? I think it's a very good sign. It says that we're heading in the right direction because it's washing away all the crap that we've been through in the last 6 months. So I'm going to sing a song. Rephrase. I'm going to attempt to sing a song. The cast is why I don't do this. They do what they do. I direct well. I do that. I produce shows. But this next song speaks very much to me about how to live my life. And it's funny because I was with Patty the other night, and I was talking with Patty, and it's interesting because as we have launched into doing this for not only the residents of Greenwood and Greater Johnson County and the central Indiana area, it's also because it's giving opportunity for people with talent, artists, to have a vehicle to develop and to continue to develop and hone their skills and help them in their careers. My job now is to have people in their path and to pay it forward. It's very interesting because as I was talking with Patty, who's now 19, who was with us last year, is here today. You know, I said, you're just beginning your career. You're just beginning your life, and my job is to now help you in that and help guide you as much as I possibly can and mentor you. And I'm coming to the end of my career, and that's very surreal to realize. You know, I'm going to be 60 years old, and I'm not done yet. Okay, so, all right, so here we go. One of my favorite songs, it really speaks to my heart, how to live my life. I still believe in it, I still go for it today, and let's hit it. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and butter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. We told you you're allowed to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to die, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I stand out, you'll turn that faster. At least I didn't fake it, answer. I guess I didn't make it. But whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection, a freckle on the nose of life's complexion, a cinder or a shiny apple of its eye, I gotta try once only, now once only, the flowers bright. So, who loves juicy, you'll see, I gotta have my fight. So, get ready for love, 'cause I'm gone. I've simply gotta march my heart's a drummer. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I'm gonna live now, get what I want, I know how. One roll for the whole shebang, one shot that bells will go clang. Eye on the target and whack, one shot, one gunshot, and bam! And Mr. Reinhardt, Dorothy, Dad, Stephanie, and Mom, and Peyton. Stay. You can stay. I want to bring up some people that are very critical. First of all, he can't come up right now, but I want to acknowledge right off the bat, the gentleman in the back, his name is Chris Rose, and he's our new technical director. And Chris has literally worked here for 18 to 20 hours a day for like the last, gosh, week plus, getting this all done with sound and technical, and we still have lots to do with that, but we're making progress. We have to see how the room would feel with people in it, so we know what to do with some of the Station, she's our head choreographer, so Station, come on up. He's not here, Roger's not here, I don't believe, today. Okay, then we have two co-choreographers who do all of our things, and also Fall. God, I was a dancer. Christopher Reed. So Christopher Reed over here. We have Mel, who also is one of our co-choreographers, so Mel. I want to bring up Jake. So Jake, and also I'm going to bring up Addie. So this is Jake McDuffie and Addison Kohler. This is also the core team of the Catered Cabaret. So you'll see 2 or 3 of them in each one of our shows as we go forward. And I believe, yep, each one of them have got their own cabaret show this year, their own private show. Actually starts our first cabaret show. It's on Wednesday, November the 6th. Please do not miss it. It's going to be incredible. She's going to be doing all Broadway. And if you've not seen this chick in action, she's hot. So please come see. So that's our core team. Thank you all very much. It takes a whole lot of people to make this happen. From IT to our websites, to marketing, to photography. It just takes a tremendous amount of effort and people. And, you know, a year ago, actually 2 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be living in Indiana. And I came back 2 years ago, and my dad, here's my dad, I can tell he's tired. My sister, Stephanie, will you please stand up for me? My mom has not been in the best of health, and my Stephanie needs some assistance sometimes too. And so I said, I've done with corporate America. I said, it's probably time for me to go back because my dad looked tired. And I said, well, I'll come back to Indiana. So then I decided when I came back to Indiana to give it all up in corporate America and to do something that I wanted to do again, which is the theater. And so I started off this little thing called the Stage2Screen Studios, and then we were going to be doing live shows. So that started on Madison Avenue, which a lot of you know. Then we transitioned into a dinner theater at the beginning of the year and opened up with Thin Girls, and that's when things really started to take off. And from there, we ended up here, which we'll get to in just a second. But we wouldn't be here right now, and I have to acknowledge the people that are no longer with us. They're no longer with us, and it's okay. We just have differences of how we wanted to work in our opinions. But I have to say publicly, and I want to thank a lady by the name of Paula Mellencamp Halk, who would have not been for her backing, we would not be here. I also want to say to Chris Tompkins, who's no longer with us, had it not been for his efforts in IT and giving us technical, we would not be here, as well as Lynn Smith. So I love them very, very much, and I wish them all well. How we got here was a gentleman approached me. He and his wife had been coming to our shows, and he approached me back after the first of the year, and he said, I'd like to talk with you, if you ever need some help. And I didn't call him. He said, give me a call. So I didn't call him, and then about the next show, about a month later, he approached me again. He said, hey, you didn't call me. I said, I know. He said, why don't you call me? I said, okay, I'll call you. I didn't call him. So Dorothy, his wife, sends me a check as a sponsor, as a donation, $500. And about 4 weeks later, Dorothy calls and she goes, did you get the check? And I said, yeah. And she goes, you didn't cash it. I said, I know. She goes, cash the check. We're here, we want to help. I said, thanks. So the next show, it was in April, and I was out front. If most of you know, when I was there, I had to direct traffic because we didn't have parking, so I had to direct traffic. It's true. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
I I was a flight attendant once too, it's pretty easy. So Bob, when he gets out of his car, he backs over the conspiracy about he goes, he hasn't called me. I said, I know, Bob. And he goes, why haven't you called me? I said, Bob, he goes, we'll get your building. Go pick out a building. We want to help you. And I'm like, Bob, I am directing traffic. I'll talk to you later. Well, that night, actually, Robert Jr. was with him. So they stopped me at intermission. And he goes, I have 3 buildings for you to go look at tomorrow. I'm like, he goes, call me, let's have dinner this week. So I did. And that little bit of help, what do you think? So I'm going to bring some people up on stage in just a minute, but I also, so in this theater is for everyone. And at the end of the day, while it has my name on it from a business perspective, and a transactional perspective, and the leasing perspective, and making sure the bills get paid, that's when it becomes my theater, is making sure I can get everything paid, because nobody really wants to write checks for that. So that's when it becomes my theater. But other than that, truly, it's our theater. It's the theater for my artists and for our artists. It's the theater for the technical. It's the theater for you, all of you. And I need your help. And I'm going to be very frank. We need your help. We are $100,000 over budget on this project. We have been through hell and back in the last 4 months. It has not been an easy task. Brian Brown, the city of Greenwood, was phenomenal in assisting us to get this through with the state and to make this happen. And I owe them great gratitude for all their efforts. Diana Brenner, architectural firm, again, another one that came to our rescue and really helped us out there. Again, heartfelt to Robert. I mean, you've just busted your butt, and I know we haven't always loved each other through this process. Woo. But you know what? I told at the very beginning, and I meant it. And we also need your help because, frankly, right now the Reinhardts are sitting in the chairs that we want to have, because most of you are like sitting in lawn chairs from our last place, because we don't have any more money. These are the chairs we want. Aren't these pretty? Look how comfy these are. Yes. Nice padded. The bottom feels much better than those chairs we're sitting on now. On your table, there's a sheet. Turn it over. It's about donating. Come on, folks. Donate $100. Help me get chairs. We need 120 of them. So if 120 of you all today put in $100, we can buy these chairs, and you'll be a lot more comfortable for the season. I'm not joking. So please, if you can help, $50, $75, please, truly, we need your help to get these chairs. Because otherwise, you will have lawn chairs for the balance of the season. On the day that was supposed to be an amazing day, we moved on July 31st from our old theater into this space, and it was really exciting and exhausting. And we were getting ready to all go out and have a beer. And I went by my parents' house to let them know that I was going to be picking up my dog later that evening, Dolly, and I walked in the door and everybody was crying. So a day that was supposed to be an incredibly wonderful day was a day of tragedy because my nephew Peyton was killed about 15 minutes before I walked in that door. And our family's lives changed forever. And so this theater is also being dedicated in his memory. And it's interesting because Peyton and I didn't know each other real well growing up because as far as he had just turned 18, he just graduated high school. His whole life was ahead of him. I haven't been in Indiana for 40 years, so I only knew him pretty much from when he was a little child. And he was a pretty amazing child. But what his departure did, and spoke so incredible, as I immediately went to see my brother, who's sitting here, Bobby, and his wife, Rhonda. And as I watched that 5-day period and the service for this 18-year-old boy, when I watched a 2-hour wait of people, young people, lined up down the street, going through queues on the inside of that funeral home to pay their respects, it gave me hope. As painful as it was, it gave me hope. Because I saw young people that actually gave a damn. I saw young people that cared. I saw young people that actually got dressed up to pay their respects to my family and to someone that they loved. And that tells me I may not have known Peyton the way I would like to as an 18-year-old young man, but it surely tells me he must have been one hell of an incredible person, and he was truly loved. So it's kind of ironic that he was killed on the day that should have been celebratory for us. And on the day which was not planned, as you all know, on Thursday, we had a tremendous amount of press. From the Indianapolis Star, if you did not see the article, it's incredible, to WTHR doing amazing coverage of what is happening here. And that, ironically, was Peyton's 19th birthday. So you can't tell me he's not a part of this whole thing. So the theater is dedicated in the memory of Peyton. It's also dedicated to two people who have dramatically impacted my life, and I'd like to bring them up on stage. First is my dad. So Dad, please come on up. My dad has been my dad since I was 11 years old. And my dad has been one of the most giving, caretaking, loving men I've ever met in my life. And so Dad, I want to say I love you and thank you. He worked his tail off at the last theater, and he's learning how to do it again. And then there's a young lady who just inspires me every day, and she inspires me because she is just happy. She's just happy. She's happy with the simple things in life. She likes the fancy things in life too, let me tell you. Like she was like, oh, Quiz, I love these chandeliers. But she exudes joy, and she will be actually one of our upcoming shows. She'll be at Holidazzle, and I want to bring up to the stage the woman who, she's 40, are you 40 now? You're 48, okay, so you're 48. You'll be 49 soon enough. All right, come on. This is my sister Stephanie.
It is always you, Quiz.
No, Bobby, you have to know. One night I asked her that, I said, who's your favorite brother? And she went, Bobby. That was on stage in front of people. I've been telling that. I want to also bring up my brother and my sister, please. My brother has been an amazing man, and he has come over here, Ron, and has been, he just does, who would have ever thought he was such a troublemaker when he was a kid. I mean, he was in so much crap. It was like always, my parents were like making them nuts. And now he's like this incredible father and family, and his beautiful wife, Rhonda, who's here, with love to death. And again, I don't see them a whole lot, but you know, it speaks volumes to me about you as parents, because Peyton would have never been the person he was had it not been for the two of you. And then I want to acknowledge two people who, if it were not for them, we would not all be here. And to be very honest, what most of you don't know, is at the end of April, I had made the decision to close. I was going to close the theater, because at our current space, that's my nephew, by the way. So we were going to close. I made the decision at the past location, we were not going to stay there because we couldn't get enough people coming in the door. And ironically, that's at the same time that Bob finally said, look, would you please talk to me? So we finally got to talk, and so we went from closing to moving to opening, and here we are. But you know, we would have never been able to do it. So I want to acknowledge and bring to the stage, please, two of the most giving people, and they never ask for anything in return other than, you know what? Just do great stuff and bring in great shows. So our venture capitalist and our backer, and please Bob and Dorothy Weiner. Now you gotta like really let them have it.
We're crying. It's just wonderful. It's more than a dream.
Well, somebody might have seen it or known me, but we've invested a lot of things as a venture capital. I really believe this probably will be for us. Greenwood needs it. They helped us all that they could. We did have trouble with the state, but we got it worked out. And we are over budget. But we've made the decision. We were moving forward. There was too much here for the people to enjoy. So we just appreciate all of you being here today. I told Dorothy if I was invited somewhere today that was raining, I probably would stay home.
I'll just pose for one photograph, a couple photographs, please, for John. You ready back there, John?
Yep.
All right. Smile big for back here in the back.
So we're going to do one number from Monsters of Mayhem, and before we do that, again, I really need your help, and need your help to like your friends, your family, your colleagues. This space can be used for rental, it can be used for wedding parties, it can be used for special events, it can be used for a corporate function, it can be used for your holiday party, use it for birthday parties. Oh, and I'm very excited to announce, I'm back in fact, please stand up, ladies. We are going to be July the 25th of this next year. We are doing the preliminary pageant for the Miss Indiana America pageant. We have our production shows this year. We have 5 of those. We have 6 cabaret shows. And for those of you who don't know, we have our first time 4 shows of big band. Yes, a 12-piece orchestra will be playing here. They play about every 6 weeks. It's called the Grand Marquis Orchestra. By the way, do you like the logo up front, the sign? That's sweet. Carol Drapery, thank you for your efforts. They made us a heck of a deal on these drapes compared to what they should have cost. These are $28,000 drapes. They ain't cheap because they're fire retardant and everything else. Design Solutions, they did an amazing job for us. But telling your friends, your families, etc., get the word out. Help us get the word out. If you see something on Facebook, please share it. Please share it. Please share it. The cast of Monsters of Mayhem is going to come up and do, not everybody's here, but they're going to do a number. They're not in costume, obviously. That show will open on Halloween. I truly hope you'll come see it. It is amazing. The talent is incredible. It's a lot of fun. It's not scary. I promise won't scare you. So come see that, followed by November the 6th, we've got Stage2, then we have our big band on the 16th, and then we open with Holidazzle 2. And I gotta tell you, we have an elf. Drew's over there. He's not our elf, actually, but Drew will be the show. Ron's in our show too. Where's Ron at?
Right back here.
Ron's in the show too, so, yep, Ron's in the show here. Bet you play Santa Claus. What do you want to bet?
Do you typecast people?
Yeah, absolutely, Ron. You know, he walked in, I said, you're cast. He goes, I don't sing. I said, you're cast. So our elf, our Dazzle, okay, the Dazzle we have, he's so cute. He's about this tall, he's a little round, and he wears his glasses like this, and he's real serious. And he's just adorable when you meet him. So he walked in another one, and I was like, you know what? You're Dazzle. You're totally Dazzle. And he's like, you mean I got the part? Yep, you got the part. So, if he's watching this, I'm joking, Carl, I swear to God, you're tall, you're tall. So Cass, come on up. This is from Monsters of Mayhem. Any questions I can answer for everybody before?
Are tickets on sale tonight?
Yes. If you would like to buy tickets, it's no.
Just one night, oh yeah. 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 I ain't got time for you, baby. Either your mind or your not. Make up your mind, see, baby. Right here, right now is all we got. Little party, never kill nobody. We gon' dance until we drop. Little party, never kill nobody. Right here, right now is all we got. Skip right up. cast structure the same as before? But again, you'll see them in costume. Their costumes are incredible. Their characters are incredible. It's the story of a young lady who doesn't know she's already passed. So they take her on a journey of how to cross over and to realize fear. Really cool show. I think y'all love it. The music is absolutely incredible. So, Cass, I love you very much.
Thank you.